I was talking to my friend the other day, and she told me that she doesn't believe in God and that the multiverse can explain the existence of life in our universe. I thought the idea of a multiverse was just some science fiction plot device used in Marvel movies, but it turns out that there's more to the idea than I thought. My question today is, does a multiverse remove the need for God? To talk about a multiverse, we must first define a universe. One good way to do this is to find every region of space that could possibly communicate with Earth. Our universe had a beginning, and thus a finite age. Additionally, the speed of light is a large but finite number. These two facts mean that we can calculate the most distant location that could possibly have light reach us. Including all space-time matter and energy with that distance allows us to define a region called the observable universe. There are currently at least 4 different definitions of what a multiverse might look like, and according to one of those definitions, anything beyond the observable universe could be defined as part of a multiverse. But do we have any scientific reason to think a multiverse exists? Well, our best scientific models actually demand that vast regions of space-time exist beyond the most distant observable regions. For example, if the earliest time of our universe experienced an incredibly vast period of expansion known as inflation, then the observable universe is just a small part of what exists. However, part of the complication of discussing the multiverse from a scientific perspective is that we will never have any way to observe it. After all, the regions that make up the multiverse are outside of the observable universe. Even so, there truly are good scientific reasons to think that a multiverse exists. Often, the evidence for fine-tuning looks at the probability of a specific quantity, like the strength of the electromagnetic force, falling in the range necessary for life. If the probability of all the requirements for life is small, one can argue that the universe is fine-tuned to ensure life exists. Multiverse changes all this because the multiverse provides a whole lot more space for things to happen. Life appears rare in our universe, but life might abound in the multiverse. It may be that our universe appears designed for life, but that is a reflection of the fact that if our universe couldn't host life, we wouldn't be here to observe the universe, or so the reasoning goes. But if everything happens somewhere in the multiverse, we have to consider every possible way of life arising. Given an infinite number of universes, there would necessarily be one that looks like the one we currently live in. So no need for God and fine-tuning, right? Well, first, it is worth remembering that we don't actually have the ability to observe the multiverse if it exists. So much of this is speculation. But it is also worth remembering that Big Bang cosmology strongly points to a beginning for the universe. Originally, when scientists started studying inflation, they noticed that once inflation starts, it continues on forever. Many of those scientists hoped that the same would apply when running time backwards. Just as it goes on forever in the future, maybe it has always been happening in the past. But this was not the case. In other words, adding inflation to Big Bang cosmology may produce a vast multiverse, but even the multiverse has a beginning. Something outside of the multiverse must have caused the multiverse to begin in the first place. Something powerful with agency. Otherwise, there would be an infinite regress of events that took place before the creation of the multiverse, and it does not seem like traversing an infinite regress is possible. At first glance, the multiverse seems to be a threat to the notion of God, and many skeptics assert that a multiverse removes the need for God. But if the multiverse has a beginning, then even the multiverse points to God. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, comment below if you have any questions or disagree with us. Then check out Reasons to Believe at reasons.org for more info on this topic. See you next time.